Hi everyone, this is Bogus Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Supreme Leader Snoke and his throne Gamestop exclusive figure. So before we take a look at Snoke, let's take a look at his throne. Well, that's the accessory that it comes with, is his throne right here. So as you can see, Snoke can sit on the throne very well. Now he won't stay in if you turn it like this or anything. He just sits in it perfectly. I like how he has the space right here for his feet. And his feet don't really want to stay on it perfectly because his feet, once you put his legs into the sitting position, kind of go out like that. But I like the soft goods robe. That allows him to sit down, and I like this, his belt right here. It actually allows him to sit down normally. So I really like that. So, now let's take a look at the throne. I think it looks really nice. It's very hollow. It's very light, but I still think it looks pretty nice. It's got a lot of sculpting detail to the seat and to the cushion right here. Looks really awesome. And I can't really say how accurate this is to the movie because the movie's not out yet and not a lot's even known about Snoke. But I do like the idea that he's a Force vampire that was around in the Knights of the Old Republic. That's the theory that I really like, so I think that's what's going to happen with him. But this looks really nice. Now this foot piece does come off. It's detached in the packaging. You have to put it on. It goes on very easily. Just makes that noise. And on the back, it's got some sculpting too. But there's really no paint detail, and it's shinier. You can see that the camera's reflecting in it. But I think it looks really nice. I like how Snoke can sit in it. Now, his feet do kind of want to go off the edge of that footstand right there, because when you put him in the sitting position, his feet kind of go out like that, so it doesn't really bother me. I still think it looks nice just like that. Okay, so now let's take a look at Snoke. So for the head sculpt, I think Hasbro did an amazing job on this. I can't get over how much it looks like from what we've seen in the trailer so far. Like his face is decaying, and I think that's why he's a Force vampire, because he looks better than he did in The Force Awakens. I think he looks like he's regenerating. So I think Hasbro did a really nice job sculpting this, and even painting it. It's got that flesh color and then has that pink color, kind of like scarring. You can see that his right eye's sunken in further than his left. I just think he looks very menacing. Like you can see his jaw right there, or his mouth. It's really creepy. He is a very creepy character. I mean, just in terms of design. Now, I'm trying to get his head in the shot because his head doesn't move because of this collar right here. It doesn't move back. So I am trying to kind of get it to where the camera will pick it up. But you can see all the scars right there. He has this really heavy scar right here in the middle of his head. And then he has a little bit of scarring back here, but not as much. There's still that dry brushing collar, but there's not as many scars and stuff on the back of his head. And his neck looks even worse. He has all those holes in his neck. Now that sculpting and painting is just fantastic. I love how much sculpting and paint is going on right there. It looks like a lot of scars. It just looks so creepy. And that's what I like about Snoke. He's so mysterious that no one actually knows who he is yet, or But I think Hasbro did a really good job just on the color of his face and the sculpting, because it looks like he looks like he's decaying, and he looks sick, which looks really awesome. But he does look very comfortable in this nice gold robe. So, I suppose, at least if you're decaying, at least be comfortable. Now with his hands, there's not as much sculpting going on. There's not really any scarring on his hands. There is that dry brushing collar, which I think looks nice. He's got more of that pinkish kind of color. He kind of looks like a baby bird, like when they're first hatched. That's what he looks like. He kind of looks like a baby bird. I like how his right hand, he kind of has that force gesture going on. It looks really awesome. And then on his left hand. Now, the figure, I do have his arm like this to the side, because if you put it out like this, you can see that it's bent up. And when you try to put it down, it just angles out like that. So I do put his arm down like that so it looks normal. So I'm not sure why mine's bent like that, but it really doesn't bother me. But let me put his arm back up there. You can see that Hasbro even sculpted all of the like scars and stuff on his arm, which looks really, really nice. I like that dry brushing too. I like this ring that he has on. I think it's a kyber crystal. I don't think it's been confirmed that it's a kyber crystal, but I'm pretty sure it's a kyber crystal. Or maybe if he is a force vampire, that's what he uses to keep the force of others and sustain himself. I don't know. That's just a theory of mine. But I think it looks really nice. I like how there you can actually see the ring that connects to the crystal there. I think it looks really nice. And I forgot to show his arm, his right arm under the sleeve. You can see some sculpting going on there. Just a little bit. But it still looks like scarring. There. I like this belt too. This really gold belt. That's really all he wears. This gold kind of robe and that gold belt. And it's a very, very soft, rubbery kind of plastic. I think it may be vinyl actually. But on the back there it's just brown, and on the front you get this rigid texture. Texturing is really nice. I think this figure just really pops. Like the fabric that Hasbro used for the robe, I like how that looks, how it has that shimmer to it. It makes it look very awesome. It just makes the figure stand out too. This design is very unique. So I really like that. Now you can take this off and open his robe, which I found to drape it to the right side first. But he doesn't look as menacing when you when you open his robe, because you can see that he has like a rigid shirt on, and then these weird pants, and then he has these slippers on. But there's actually a lot of sculpting detail on these slippers. That looks really, really nice. Like you can see there's a lot of sculpting going on there, and I really love that. And there's a little bit of sculpting. You can see like there's lines on his legs, there's indentations on his legs, but there's really no paint variation. It's just flesh colored. There's no pink or anything on it. But yeah, once you open the robe, Snoke doesn't look as menacing. Like, even if he just looked like this, I still think he looks menacing. But then you open his robe and he looks silly. I hope that he doesn't take this robe off in the movie, because that will definitely lose his menacing. He will definitely lose that. But I do like how Hasbro did this collar too, so that it stands up. It's actually a plastic collar, and somehow this is tacked to it. The fabric right there, you can see that it's right there how it is. But I really like that, because a lot of figures, like if they have like a collar like that, it mostly just poofs out. So I'm glad that Hasbro did that so that it'll stay like that. So now let's put. Actually, I'll leave the belt off for now so I can go over his articulation. He's got a ball-jointed head that can't really move up because of this hard plastic collar, but that doesn't bother me, because I do like that it stands up like that and looks perfect. But he can look down. He can look side to side. He's got ball-jointed shoulders that move out. Actually, his left shoulder doesn't move out that far, but his right shoulder moves out very, very far. Let me move that down just a little bit. He's got a swivel at the bicep, double-jointed elbow, swivel wrist that can move up and down and side to side. He's got a ball-jointed diaphragm, but on mine, it just moves side to side. It doesn't pivot around, because it actually, you can see how he's kind of leaning to this side. It needs to be more over. Wait, maybe I got it. Yeah, you kind of have to turn it to the side to do that, but I really don't like that you have to do that. But he's got ball-jointed hips that can only move out that far. They really can't move out that far. He can kick forward all the way. He looks like a ninja in that pose, like this, like, whoa! He's got a swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee, and a swivel at the ankle that can move up and down. And he has an ankle rocker. But what's weird is if you put his foot the way it's supposed to be, it points out like that. Like this one, I have it tilted. If you put it the right way, you can see that they angle out, which I find a little odd. But if you have the robe together, it doesn't look funny because, like you can see back here, how the ankles aren't really lined up perfectly. And I think it'll probably be the same way with all of them. I don't think it's anything different, but it could be. Let's put his robe back together now. Now, one thing I do want to say is that I do like the material that Hasbro used also, because it drapes perfectly. Like with the Jedi robes and stuff like that, they don't really lay right, or really any of the fabric on the Star Wars figures. But this has a very heavy kind of material. It's a heavy kind of material, and it drapes perfectly, which I really love. Because, you don't want it to be bunched up or look weird, and this actually looks natural. So I really like that. So now let's do some size comparisons. Now, I don't know, since Snoke is so tall and skinny, if he'll stand. Okay, I might just have to hold him like that. So here he is next to Rey. You can see he's a lot taller than Rey. Rey's about 5.5 inches tall, so Snoke's probably about 7 or 7.5 inches tall. So I think that looks really awesome. And then here he is next to Kylo. Now, I don't actually have any of the Last Jedi figures except for Snoke, because my stores haven't got any in. It's kind of odd that I got one of the hardest to find Last Jedi figures first, Snoke, but I'm not complaining. So here he is next to Kylo Ren. And he's just a little taller than Kylo, because Kylo is taller. So I think that looks really good. And for a final comparison, here he is next to Chewbacca, another tall character. And you can see that Chewbacca is taller than Snoke. So, Chewbacca is taller than him, but I still think Snoke looks more menacing. So, overall, I really, really like this figure. Because it just has so much to it. Like, let's go ahead and put him back in his throne. Or on his throne, not in his throne. In his throne for the rest of this. Now, this is the position you have to get him in to sit perfectly. There. There. Keep slipping now. There. So there Snoke is on his throne. And I really, really love this figure. This is probably another one of the top figures of the year for me. So I would definitely buy this. I would highly, highly recommend this. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.